Arman.
Okay. My name is MD Arman and I belongs to Bihar but currently live in Chennai.
Mm-hmm.
I completed my BTech Technocrats Institute of Technology. Then I joined Genesis Technology as a Java developer in a Spring Boot, a Spring Embassy,
Mm-hmm.
Hibernate JPA, and
Mm-hmm.
MySQL and a Spring Security also.
Mm-hmm.
So in this, I created many RESTful API.
Mm-hmm.
I also used to be the third party API in our projects, just for example, to video
Mm-hmm.
for the email verification, SMS verification,
Mm-hmm.
and all the code are implemented in Java.
Okay. 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 So you have worked on Java 8, REST API, Spring Boot, microservices, Hibernate, JPA, MySQL, Git, GitLab. This is the tool of code version, right? Hello.
I'm audible.
Yes. 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 So you know MongoDB, defect fixing, lot of things.
Sir, audio is not clear, sir.
Okay. Just one. Yeah. Now audible right now. Hello. Hello. Just 1 minute. Okay. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Okay.
So in Java 8, what kind of features you have implemented? My first question to you.
Uh, okay. There are many features I implement in our project of the Java 8.
Mm-hmm.
I also used to be the functional interface, Lambda expression,
Mm-hmm.
default keyboard, a stream API,
Mm-hmm.
reference method,
Mm-hmm.
and data and type. So,
And in Stream API, what things you know? How it is work? Can you
uh,
tell me about that?
sir, audio is not clear. It breaks.
Okay, so I am asking
Hello.
what kind of things you have done in Stream API.
Okay. A stream API. It's modification of the collection object.
Mm-hmm.
So it is just like a pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to be the any modification of our data, it's a bulk. It's just like work as a pattern. So
Mm-hmm.
there I'm using Stream API.
Mm-hmm. So suppose I will tell you
Okay.
uh, about static method and reference method. What do you think about that?
A static method and
Instance method.
okay. Stent method, it's belong to object.
Mm-hmm.
So we are created any object, so automatically that's method is loaded,
Mm-hmm.
and it's called by the object. So it's if you want to be the access that method, so you need to be the create that object of class.
Mm-hmm.
So a static method, it's a belong to the classes. So
Mm-hmm.
we not need to be the created of that a class object should be directly called by the class name.
Okay. So next question, you know stack memory and heap memory, how it is work?
Uh, Okay. Stack memory we can use to the any variable and any method that
Mm-hmm.
can be also stored in the stack memory.
Mm-hmm.
So it is the first in and last out that can be approach used. And the heap memory is also is a special type of memory that can be any object are created. So that's are be stored in the heap memory.
No, so any variable
Okay.
if you are creating, it will store in stack memory, right?
Yes.
So what is use of static keyword?
Uh, a static keyword.
Hmm.
So uh, in memory.
Yeah, in the term of memory, why we are using? Okay, just leave it. Why we are using static keyword?
A static keyword is not is a part in memory is not a part of the heap. So
Mm-hmm.
if any object are be created, so object are the stored in heap memory. But we are used the static, so it's the load the only one time. Means we not need to be created if the object are created. So it can be only stored in the that type of special type of the variable that is sorry, a storage. Maybe so it's a one time that can be stored.
So what type of storage? Means
Uh,
storage memory. What kind of memory it will take?
Okay, it's a not to take a heap, so it's a take a stack.
Stack memory.
Sorry, I'm not clear about it.
No,
Sorry.
I am not clear because of it, actually why we ask this question because
Okay.
you told if we create we can create or initialize any variable it will store in stack. That's why I
Yes.
asked this question.
Okay.
Only reference variable and static variable and method would be stored in stack. This kind of variable and method will be go on the stack,
Okay.
not any variable. So your main method are stored in JVM or any other places.
Uh, Main method store.
Main method is I will simplify it. Main method is belong to JVM or any.
Its the main method belongs to JVM.
So JVM belong to which memory?
Uh, JVM. Uh, JVM is a static method, so it's not belongs to the heap memory.
Mm-hmm.
So it's belong to the stack memory.
Stack memory. You know, encapsulation and abstraction.
Sorry.
Encapsulation and abstraction.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, please tell.
Encapsulation means the method and data binding into a single unit.
Mm-hmm.
That is called the encapsulation.
Mm-hmm.
But the abstraction is the hide the sensitive data and show only functionality. So that is called abstraction.
Okay. So I'm just moving in collection. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So what is difference between tree map and hash map?
Okay. Tree map and hash map both are the implement of the map.
Mm-hmm.
So hash map is not to maintain the insertion order, but
Mm-hmm.
tree map is maintain the insertion order as a sorted,
Mm-hmm.
and hash map is the faster than the tree map.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's the data insertion, deletion, adding O of one.
Mm-hmm.
But tree map the inserting maintain the sorting order. So it's take the time of O log n maybe, and high set set the only one. Sorry, high map. Sorry, not high set. High map. Store the one null key null value, but
Mm-hmm.
tree map not store any null value. Is throw the null pointer exception.
Why not store null?
Actually, a tree map is sorted. If they store the null value, so how can we store as a tree?
So internally how it is work?
Uh,
If
Actually,
if you are adding null, so
yes.
how it will work?
So if I add,
Okay, leave it. Uh, you know internal functionality of HashMap.
Yes.
Can you explain about that?
Hash map is internally work as a hash table.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a store the value of key value pair.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a go through the key. I say generate use the hash function to generate the hash code of the key
Mm-hmm.
and determine the bucket, and that can be store the value.
Mm-hmm.
So if the check value are exist or not, that's the hash code. So
Mm-hmm.
if the already value is not exist, so it can be directly store the value. But is the value is stored. So if you also override the equal method and check the value or new value and the already present in value both are equal or not. If the
Mm-hmm.
both are equal, so it's the new value can be override the existing value. If the both are not equal, so it can be added append as a linked list.
Mm-hmm. So if I tell you just I'm moving in next question because of this is short interview as a
Okay.
30 minutes. So I'm
Okay.
just going to uh, J2E part. So you know entity classes means
Yes.
POJO.
Yes. Yes.
So what is why we are using this POJO just like as an entity class? What is advantage?
Firstly, Pojo stand for plain old Java object.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to be the accept any data from the client side, if you want to be the send response the any data of client side, if we want to be the modification data send, so there we can use the Pojo.
Okay, so JDBC, and suppose I will tell you how to differentiate between JDBC and POJO classes.
Okay. Pojo classes and JDBC.
Hmm. POJO means you know entity class. Entity class means relational
In relation to the
data.
databases.
Yes.
JDBC is a Java database connectivity,
Hmm.
but Pojo class, entity class, if you are used to be the, I use in our project a Hibernate framework.
Hmm.
So that used to be the JPA, Java Prestige API.
Hmm.
That is the specification of the ORM,
Hmm.
object relational mapping. That means they provide the many method. We not need to be the write a many boiler code, and that is used to be the our database RDBase convert into the object and object converted into the RDBase. That's the many benefit. It's also implemented transaction that also support the OOPS concept in Hibernate. But JDBC, it's a not implicitly transactional. We can also write on code manually, and JDBC also transactional explicitly we can use. So
Any other difference?
other difference we can also achieve the lazy loading by the Hibernate, and JDBC we cannot achieve the lazy loading.
Why?
Actually, lazy.
You know lazy loading, eager loading?
Yes, yes.
What is difference? Because of you read this question, so that's why I'm asking.
Okay, eager loading where the parent class is loaded is automatically lazy loading.
Hmm.
Its child class is automatically loaded. That is eager loading.
Hmm.
But lazy loading on demand. If you want to be the load the child class, so it's needed to demand, so it's loaded.
No, dear, you are in wrong path. Just you noted out eager
Okay,
loading and lazy loading only difference. Lazy eager loading is belong to stack means if you have static method or static variable that would be as a eager loading. Okay.
okay,
If you have any instance variable and method would be work as a lazy loading. So lazy loading, I will give. You know, the eager means if you creating object, that would be a lazy loading. In the Java term, in Hibernate term, you just see. load method is not a part of static method, but your get method is a part of static method. You can check.
Okay. 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 Thank you.
Okay, so eager and lazy, this is the only difference. So, so your JDBC is also is a part of, but main difference JPA is associate with the database, means directly communicate with DB and Java code. This is the difference.
Okay.
And it is used to driver, you know, which type of driver used by Hibernate?
Uh, MySQL. I use the my class driver
No. MySQL is database. I am asking driver type.
connector jar. That's the class is present in the.
Driver type 1, driver type 2, driver type 4, driver
Sorry.
type 3.
Sorry, sir.
No idea. Okay. So JDBC 1 is using driver 1 type, JDBC ODBC, and driver 2 type, native library use. Driver 3 is a thin, some as a network level connectivity. I mean third type, fourth type is using the thin driver. Thin driver is a fourth type of driver. It is a communicate with the database directly without any intermediate. But other these things are three driver is using to intermediate operations, means compile and use to native library. Then it will connect to database. Hmm. So this is the differences. So you know Spring Boot and Spring MVC framework.
Yes.
So in Spring framework, what kind of things you know?
Sorry.
Spring framework and
Yes.
Spring Boot. What think about that? What is difference?
Okay. So a Spring Boot have the a starter form,
Mm-hmm.
but a Spring have not a starter form.
Mm-hmm.
So and a Spring Boot also the embedded server, just like Tomcat, JT, and that all.
Mm-hmm.
But Spring have a not a that's a embedded server.
Mm-hmm.
And in the Spring, so we need to be the configuration as the XML file. But in a Spring Boot, we use the application.properties file and application.byml file.
Mm-hmm.
And a Spring Boot also have the implicit database just like H2,
Mm-hmm.
but in a Spring have a note.
Okay. So suppose I will tell you
Okay,
Spring Boot. Suppose I want to remove the embedded server from Spring Boot.
okay.
So how will you make the program and run?
In a Spring Boot,
Yes.
actually it's the embedded server, so it's a remote.
Embedded server means Tomcat is embedded.
Yes, yes.
I,
So
I want to remove that dependency in form.xml or
yes, yes,
gradle.xml, whatever you are using.
yes,
So
yes.
in that scenario, how do you run a Spring Boot application?
Okay, so firstly we are download the our Tomcat. If you want to be any server download,
Mm-hmm.
so we download explicitly and then run and their configuration in the file to the our project and
Mm-hmm.
then
No, why you need to configuration? Because I will just simply make it a jar to work. So where you can deploy any server, it will work.
yes, yes, yes,
Hmm?
yes, yes.
So you know REST API.
Yes.
So in REST API, what kind of things, what type of REST API method?
There are many method, post method, and the get method and
Mm.
patch method, delete method.
Mm. Okay. Any other?
Any other option is also, but I'm not work on the option
Mm.
and update also.
So suppose which scenario can be used put method, which scenario can be used get method, which scenario we can use delete method. Can you explain about that?
Okay, get mapping, they provide the Spring Boot as a notation.
Mm-hmm.
So we are used to be the fetching the data from the our databases.
Mm-hmm.
That's the method used to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And post are used to be the post in we can also post the data from in our means say we can insert the data in our database
Mm-hmm.
post
Mm-hmm.
and delete are used to be the delete the data our databases and put are used to be update the data in our database if you present and patch if the hold the data but patch are used to be the hold the data no not a hold the some specific data we want to be the in my data is just like a name id and a location so if you want to be the only location change so that's the use the patch method.
Okay. So you know request body and response body how
uh,
this.
yes sir.
So how to
uh,
use it? Use to this.
uh, request to body is the binding the request from the client side to the our object.
Mm-hmm.
That is the request body notation I used,
Mm.
and response body we can the send the data as object to the convert the data as a JSON to response as our client.
Okay.
But in our Spring Boot, response body is also is the combination of the REST controller we can also use. So it's the combination of controller and response control. So we don't need to be the handle in every method of the response body notation. It's automatically work.
I will ask the last question to you. How
Okay.
do you handle uh, uh, how to handle global exception?
Okay, in our project Spring Boot, so used to be the we can create a global exception by using the notation controller advanced,
Mm-hmm.
and we can use the also a notation as a method level as a exception handler.
Mm-hmm. So an advice annotation, advice you annotate with advice exception or advice, what kind of things you will do that?
Sorry, can you say again, sir?
Advice annotation or advice exception annotation, what kind of things you will use? Can you explain this thing?
Advanced. Actually, I use in the class level as a controller advanced notation.
No,
So,
so AOP, AOP
okay,
just
aspect oriented. Yes, yes.
yeah. So what is use of this? Because of this use is a different. This is used
Yes,
for tracking your logs in whole
yes.
whole application.
Yes, it's used to be the cross cutting.
Hmm.
So, if you want to be the is a method is done. So, firstly, the
Cross
another method
cross cutting means
cross
if
cutting means that can say our method is done before the we are using also notation.
hmm.
Firstly, it's the method is done. So, firstly, that's method is done, and then that's method done. So, uh, I can say.
Okay.
Um,
So here global exception you can make it as a class, right?
Sorry.
You make as a global exception as a
Yes.
class,
Yes.
so that would be handle the global exception, right?
Uh, no, it's a yes, yes, yes. It's a handle.
Okay. Okay.
But we want to be a specific handle the so we can use the method level exception handler.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
Method level exception handler. Huh? Hmm.
yes.
So exception handler is a notation or what? What you kind of things you know?
Uh, it's a notation. It's also a notation, but we can provide the also in the what kind of if any throw the exception, so what type of exception can be handled in this method.
Okay. Okay, dear. Uh, so in database, I will ask the one last question to you. In database, why we are using MongoDB?
MongoDB are is also is the is a note to use the RDBMS
Hmm.
recent database, and it is the all the data the storage the schema,
Hmm.
and that can be a stored also as a key value pair.
Hmm.
So that's the RD relation note stores that's the is also important, and uh, sorry I am able to recall.
Okay. Okay. So in MySQL, you know, MySQL
Yes, yes.
and SQL, you know, what is difference between MySQL and SQL?
Michael, MySQL and SQL.
Hmm.
Actually, MySQL is a databases,
Hmm.
and then SQL is the language of the databases we can write to fetching the data and any CRUD operation can
Hmm.
do. It's a server side language.
Okay. 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 So you know joins.
Yes.
So how many types of joins?
In SQL, there are many type of join, inner join, left join, right join, full outer join, self join, cross join.
Okay. Okay. So I have done your interview.